everyone? Welcome back to another edition of Sports to the Wire. For those of you who are actually new to the show, I am your host, Rashid White. All right, so as you guys can see with the title on screen there, James Harden likely to end up with the Philadelphia 76ers. And what's his name? Daryl Morey is actually hoping and holding out for either Damian Lillard or James Harden. He's going big game hunting over here. Now, is it a mistake by him to actually wait for James Harden to actually be available? Should he actually trade for him? And I think that Daryl Morey is actually making a really, really huge mistake right here. So, all right, let's ask yourself right there. If you're James Harden, why the hell would you want to go to Philadelphia? So one, it's Philadelphia. Now, Philadelphia fans, do not get angry with me. Please don't. I mean, it's a nice city. I've been there a billion times. But it's Philadelphia. It's Philadelphia. It's not New York. Number two, you have competing general managers. Two, one hypothetically, you have Sean Marks, who's actually proven that he can actually find diamonds in the rough there. I mean, he can take guys that's number 18, 25, 30 in the draft and develop these guys into really contributing players here. I mean, look at Jared Allen, look at Karis LeVert. We know Karis LeVert, but he has a lot of injuries. But, I mean, like, if you do that draft over again, I mean, he's, arguably Ballers.com. And so Brooklyn Nets superstar James Harden, he's headed for unrestricted free agency. Now he turned down a contract extension, but the thing is that he can actually make more if he actually signs the following season. And Daryl Morey hasn't proven to be able to put together a championship roster. Now, when James Harden was there, he couldn't get a high percentage one-on-one player to actually par along with James Harden. Now, if you're going to win a championship, it can't just be James Harden, and then your next best player is actually Clint Capella or Russell Westbrook or Chris Paul. And even though CP3 is actually great, but he's undersized and it causes a lot of problems on the defensive end, and you have to constantly kind of, help out when he gets exposed, on defense in a sense. Even though he's a good defender, but I mean, you got a Kevin Durant going at him or a bigger 6'7", 6'8" player, you have to help on that constantly. And that's not, that's not going to really kind of get it done. So you look at Sean Marks and the roster that he's actually been able to put together. They would have won a championship definitely last year if it wasn't for the injuries. I think James Harden kind of knows that. I don't think he's really stupid here. And Daryl Morey, he will actually, bend over backwards for James Harden. But you got to look at this. Does he actually want to be in Houston again? Where he's really the main guy. Yes, he does have Joel Embiid, but Joel Embiid, he's prone to injuries, and it's a guard-driven league. He has to really kind of play more on the perimeter, especially with a lot of these bigs that I can actually shoot the three. So let's say if it's a Philadelphia and Milwaukee's matchup, Brook Lopez is going to be out there on the perimeter. And Joel Embiid is going to have to go out there and guard him because Brookie can actually shoot 38% from three-point range. And you can't let somebody just go uncontested with that type of three-point ability right there. So, I mean, again, it's New York. And like I said, Kevin Durant, he's able to get players over there. He got Patty Mills over there. He got LaMarcus Aldridge over there. And LaMarcus Aldridge was reportedly headed to Miami. And Aldridge turned down hot-looking chicks in Miami beaches in the night scene to go to New York to play with Kevin Durant. So I think Daryl Morey is actually making a big mistake here. You look at Ben Simmons, he's good enough to get you through a regular season, but there's a certain type of roster that you have to put around him in order to make him successful. It has to be shooters, but then when you go later in the playoffs, it has to be shooters that can actually put the ball on the floor just in case they close out on those shooters. And then that player that actually put that shooter that actually that can actually put that has to put the ball on the floor needs to actually make plays. Make good passes out to the corners, and that takes time for a lot of these guys to actually do that, especially when they're not used to doing that. Ben Simmons actually has limitations where he arguably in fourth quarters you can't play him. Let's say if the game is close, 1-2 possession games, you got to take him out the game. He can't hit free throws. So certain lineups is actually like 5-on-4 basketball with Ben Simmons. So, and I think that Daryl Morey should have traded him right away when the opportunity was actually there. But now you let it go this long. I think teams get off the high. I mean, he does have the potential to actually be LeBron 2.0, but if he doesn't want to be that, I mean, it takes will. It takes a certain will to actually do that, a desire to actually to do that. I just don't think Ben Simmons wants to do that. I think he's happy getting 12 to 14 points a game, 10 assists, and 8 or 9 rebounds. I mean, more like Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd didn't want to go out there and score 30 every single night. I mean, he did it if he had to, but he didn't want to. And that's okay. And so we'll actually see what happens here. But I think ultimately James Harden will stay in Brooklyn. I mean, he has 2 high percentage one-on-one players. All he has to do is just get the ball in them, get them into their spots. It's just, he's 32 years old. I just don't think he wants to carry a team like that anymore, man. I mean, he has to be, at that point in your 30s, you start getting smart. And let's see what ESPN and these guys are actually saying. Yeah, I don't think he wants to go to the 70s. I don't know. I mean, he had 8 or 9 years with Daryl Morey, and Daryl Morey couldn't do anything. I mean, he got on Russell Westbrook. Yeah, that's true. He actually went for it. When the Golden State Warriors was actually, at their prime, yeah, he actually went for it. He tried to go ahead and beat him, but I just didn't think he, did it smart. And Houston, I mean, Texas is a low, like a no state income tax state right there. I mean, I'm just surprised he couldn't get players over there. All right, we'll wrap this video up. If you like the video, please like, comment, subscribe. Certainly share this video. When you share, the universe certainly shares back with you. Peace.